one can only shed a tear over the fact that, unfortunately, Barnum's Circus closed down long ago. There used to be a circus of freaks and all sorts of oddities. And Putin, of course, could have been the star of that circus. Putin managed to pull his head in all the way down to his navel. It seems anatomically impossible, but for a whole day now, there has been nothing above the collar of his shirt, above his tie and suit. Not everyone is able to peer into the tunnel that has formed in his body. But according to Kremlin insiders, the head is in there, deep inside, and you can see the bald spot at the end of the tunnel. The ghoul remains silent. So what happened? Here's what happened. Zelensky announced that he would personally wait for Putin on May 15th in Turkey. And to quote him verbatim, he said, we are waiting from tomorrow for a ceasefire complete and lasting to provide the necessary basis for diplomacy. There's no point in delaying the killing. I will be waiting for Putin, working in Turkey, in person on Thursday. Russian media are actively trying in every possible way to avoid this topic. But this proposal from Zelensky to meet in person, that is, of course, a bold idea, a desperate idea. But of all ideas, the best ones are precisely the bold and desperate ones. And even better are truly crazy ideas. It is always the crazy, bold, and desperate ideas that have set all the gears of science and history in motion. Zelensky's proposal to meet in person in Istanbul firmly puts Putin in a kind of awkward position, even to be precise, Osticus flaviatilus. And the only thing left for the Kremlin patient in such a position is to scrape his claws under his cephalothorax and wiggle his antennae. Osticus is, to put it mildly, not a particularly dignified pose. And when combined with Putin's cosmic swagger and his narcissism, it looks especially amusing. In reality, the Kremlin ghoul doesn't have the slightest chance to dodge or mumble his way out of a direct challenge if he doesn't show up. Even the grandmothers from Putin's squads or the junior ranks of the FSO will sneer at him. Zelensky's challenge is, yes, it's a cartel. It's a gauntlet thrown right in his face. And here, there's no way to dodge or talk his way out of it in typical Putin fashion. Because even his most ardent supporters will notice that he's been branded a coward right on his face. And this red-hot brand will boil all the expensive Swiss Botox that's been injected into his face. And this in general could lead to irreversible changes in his appearance. So much so that even his dear Patrushev wouldn't recognize him when they meet. Putin can't go to Istanbul either. He just can't, because Zelensky is clearly not the kind of person you can sell a 2-hour lecture about the Pechenegs to and expect him to sit there and listen. And then that very same brain hemorrhoid of the President of the Russian Federation will reveal itself in all its glory. And of course, the conversation will turn into a serious, indelible global embarrassment. And in such a situation, really the best thing Putin could do would be to just quickly die. And at that point, it doesn't even matter from what, anything will do. Cholera, dysentery, mumps, any of those would be his only salvation. This attempt by Putin to show off in front of the world's leaders, in front of Trump, to present himself as some kind of dove of peace has turned into an extremely unpleasant, scandalous, and hopeless situation for him. Zelensky easily outplayed him and now has the opportunity to prepare, say, Algerian-style cutlets or poppers or any other dish from this so-called dove of peace